necessary.
I'm sorry, Zoe, but I do need to establish the wider picture. So, how involved is Jean's father in her daily routine?
He isn't involved.
That's fine. Absolutely fine. But I will need his contact details so that we can have a little chat.
No, I can't.
Zoe, I'm not here to apportion blame. I'm here to establish the facts.
Well, the fact is that I don't know the father.
I see.
I was unwell at the time of conception.
Was that a schizophrenic episode?
Before I was diagnosed, before I was medicated, I was on antidepressants and I had a reaction to them.
Well, I will need to speak with your psychiatrist and your CPN. Do I have your permission to do that?
Paul has always been very supportive.
And who's the baby's primary carer?
I am. And my nanny, Chloe.
And you live alone?
No, I live with my brother, his wife and her daughter.
So you won't object if I speak to them in connection with this?
You be my guest. They've all racked their brains. They all don't know how this happened. They will all tell you the same thing, that Jean is a happy, well-loved child. This was an accident, no more, no less. Hi. I didn't want her just turning up on the doorstep.
Who?
The social worker.
Well, why the hell have they brought in a social worker?
She'll want to talk to you. Please, just try to be cooperative. They're implying that the injury wasn't accidental.
As if you'd lay a finger on that child.
I've never heard anything so stupid in my whole life.
If they're so much as suggesting you're responsible, I'll get my solicitor onto this. We'll have a case for defamation.
I haven't got time to argue, Chris. I need to get back to the hospital. Just tell this Joy woman the truth, and then they'll find out that there is nothing to find out and leave us alone.
What are the chances of that? I tell you, once the social workers get the claws in, they can prove what they like. You've only got to read the newspaper.
No, you're exaggerating, Chris.
So they're suspicious of us all, then?
You were the last person with Jean before she had her latest accident, weren't you?
Yeah, and I'd gone out the room. I'd left it on her own.
What are you getting at, Chris?
It's obvious. You've seen how she's been with Joseph. Resents the hell out of him. Makes his life a misery.
It wasn't me. I never touched her.
Last thing I need is you pointing the finger at any of us.
Chris, I understand you're upset by
So
this,
tell me,
but
how exactly did you manage to break her rib? Did you shake her? Did you drop her on the floor?
Oh, get lost, Chris. I didn't touch her.
How dare you?
that was unnecessary.
Especially as she was with me when it happened, because I called her out of the room. You're a callous prat.
What, Debbie moves up here, Jean manages to get seriously injured twice, both times with no witnesses? Bit too much of a coincidence, don't you think?
Resenting Joseph. Do you know what? It's you that resents her, innit?
Oh, don't try and dodge the issue.
The issue is that you are accusing Debbie of deliberately putting Jean into intensive care.
Maybe she didn't mean it to go that far. We all know she's volatile. All it would take is some sort of spiteful, spur-of-the-moment shove. Jean's on the floor, and it all gets out of
I
hand.
am not listening to this, Chris.
Admit it, she's got a temper.
So have you. No one's accusing you of harming my child.
Think about it. Not only has she got access to that baby, she has a chip on her shoulder the size of this
She would
house.
never do it. She hasn't got it in her.
That is the problem with the cuckoo in the nest. You don't know. None of us know what she's capable of.
What's the point? You all think it was me.
No. Nobody's accusing you of anything.
Except Chris. He's never wanted me to do anything to turn Mum against me.
We mustn't be too hard on him. He's concerned about Jean. He's worried. People react in different ways.
By lying about me. What happens if he goes to the police? What'll they do then?
Debbie, if you've got anything to tell me, whatever it is, I promise I won't be angry.
Zoe, I would never do anything to hurt her. Ask Mum, I was really upset when she went into hospital.
No, I know. I'm sorry. I can't believe I even asked that question. I hate the nappies they give you in there. Cheap. Could you pass me those tubes of cream, please, and a teething ring?
Yep.
Debbie's locked herself in a room, and she's not going to come out not till you've apologised to her.
She'll be in there for some time, then.
She never laid a finger on Jean.
Pulled the big-eyed orphan Annie routine on you, has she?
No, she told me the truth, and I believe her.
Truth? An abstract concept on the sort of council estate she was dragged up.
Can you hear yourself? She might not have had the best start in life.
For sake, stop it! My daughter is lying in hospital, and all you two can do is rip each other apart.
And why's she there in the first place? All I'm trying to do is point out a few salient facts.
And I am being investigated by social services who think that I've harmed my own child, not once, but twice. I am not stupid. I know that if I can't prove otherwise, they might be able to take her away from me. How's that for a salient fact?
Right, so what happens now then?
Well, I'll write a report and make my recommendations. I know this is a difficult time for all of you, but I am here to help. Please try not to worry. Thanks.
Hey, she didn't want to speak to you after all. What are you doing?
I'm going.
Going where?
Anywhere but here. I'm not staying where I'm not wanted.
Wait a minute, you are wanted, and don't ever think that you're not.
Yeah, well, not by him. He hates me. Why else would he tell Zoe a load of lies?
He's just upset about Jean, and he doesn't want to think that Zoe might have anything to do with it.
Yeah, well, she ain't though, has she?
Well, I don't think so. I hope not. But I don't know, and sometimes I think she doesn't know either, and he's frightened, so he's lashing out at you instead.
You don't think I did hurt her though, do you?
No, Debbie, no, I don't.
Because if you do, then I don't want you as my mum.
No, Debbie, come here. Now, you listen to me, right? You take that bag back upstairs where it belongs. Go on.
She's a teenager. They do it for effect. There's no way she'd give up all this.
She would if she felt unwanted. She might be a kid, but she has still got her pride.
Just like her mother, eh?
Do you know what? You were all over Debbie when she first came here. It was you that persuaded me to take her on, if you'd remember.
That was a long time ago. That was before I knew the full picture.
Yeah, until you found out that Kane was her father. And then you changed, didn't you? Just like that. Well, it's not rocket science, Chris. It doesn't take a genius to work out why.
You're talking complete nonsense.
You're jealous as hell. You hate Kane. You hate the fact that he's still in my life. You can't take it out on him, so what do? You make Debbie suffer instead.
Well theorised, Professor.
Well, she doesn't deserve it, Chris. Kane might be her dad, but he's had naught to do with her. She's her own person. She's not some scumbag dingle on the make.
You can take the girl out of the dingle, but you can't take the dingle out of the girl. You've only got to look at her mother.